catch golden child brother cuddling with my GF, but they say I'm just imagining stuff in few months. My heart stopped dead when I saw them Ethan, my perfect brother, and Lila, my girlfriend of 2 years, tangled up on the couch like I didn't exist. The worst part, they looked me in the eye and swore I was seeing things. I'm Jake, 24, a graphic designer who's always been the other son. Ethan, 2 years younger, is the golden child mom's pride, dad's champ, the kid who could do no wrong, straight A student, varsity soccer star, and now, apparently, a snake. Lila and I met in college, bonding over late-night pizza and indie music. She was my rock, or so I thought. We'd been living together in a cramped Chicago apartment for 6 months, scraping by, but happy. Ethan, fresh off a fancy internship, moved back to town last month, crashing at our place while he figured things out. I didn't mind. He's family. Right? Big mistake. It started with small things. Ethan borrowing Lila's ear for hours, laughing over inside jokes I wasn't part of. I'd come home from a late shift to find them sharing takeout, their heads too close over her phone. Just catching up, Lila would say, brushing it off. Ethan would flash his $1,000,000 smile, the one that got him out of everything. I ignored the gnawing in my gut. I trusted them, but trust is a fragile thing, and mine was about to shatter. One Tuesday night, I got off work early. The client canceled a deadline, so I grabbed Thai food, eager to surprise Lila. The apartment was quiet when I walked in, the kind of quiet that feels wrong. Then I saw them. Ethan's arm was slung around Lila's shoulders, her head resting on his chest, their legs tangled under a blanket. My keys hit the floor with a clatter. They sprang apart, but not fast enough. Jake, it's not what you think. Lila's voice cracked, her eyes wide with panic. Ethan just leaned back, cool as ever. Bro, you're imagining things. We were just chilling. I stood there, the takeout bag warm in my hands, my pulse hammering. Imagining you're practically on top of her? My voice shook, but Ethan just chuckled. Like I was some kid throwing a tantrum. Lila stammered. We were just talking. Jake, you're blowing this out of proportion. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. But the way her eyes darted to Ethan, the way he smirked, it was like a punch to the chest. I dropped the food and stormed out, their voices fading behind me. The next few days were hell. Lila kept texting, begging to talk, but every time I saw her name, I saw her curled up with Ethan. He didn't even bother to apologize, just acted like nothing happened. Mom called, saying I was being dramatic and that Ethan was just being friendly. Of course, she'd take his side. She always did. I started sleeping on a friend's couch, avoiding the apartment, but the image of them together was burned into my brain. Was I crazy? Was I really imagining it? Doubt crept in, but so did anger. I wasn't going to let this slide. I started noticing things I'd missed. Lila's phone was always locked now, her notifications muted. Ethan's job hunt seemed to involve a lot of hanging out at our place. I dug deeper, checking Lila's social media when she left her laptop open one night. There it was, a private message thread with Ethan, full of flirty emojis and late-night chats. Miss you already. She'd written after I'd gone to bed one night. My stomach churned. This wasn't imagination. This was betrayal. I confronted them again, this time with screenshots. Lila's face went pale, her excuses crumbling. It's not like that. Jake, we just got close. Ethan, still smug, shrugged. You're paranoid, man. Nothing's going on. But the evidence was right there, and their lies were unraveling. I kicked Ethan out that night, his duffel bag hitting the sidewalk with a satisfying thud. Lila stayed, but things were broken. Every conversation felt like walking on glass. I couldn't look at her without seeing Ethan's arm around her. Weeks passed, and the tension didn't fade. Lila tried to fix things, cooking my favorite meals, leaving apology notes, but it felt hollow. I started pulling away, focusing on work, reconnecting with friends. Meanwhile, Ethan was living it up, posting about his new job at some tech startup, Mom bragging about him to anyone who'd listen. Lila, though, was struggling, Her friends told me she'd been crying a lot, missing classes. Part of me felt bad, but another part, the louder part, wanted her to hurt like I did. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Friday, 3 months after that awful Tuesday. I'd agreed to meet Lila at a coffee shop to talk things over. I wasn't sure I wanted to, but closure sounded better than this limbo. When I got there, she looked like a ghost pale, eyes red, hands trembling around her latte. "Jake," she started, voice barely above a whisper. "I messed up. I, I slept with Ethan." The world tilted. I'd suspected it, but hearing it was like a knife twisting in my gut. "It was a mistake," she sobbed. "It happened once, and I hate myself for it." I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I just sat there, numb, as she spilled everything. How Ethan had been charming her for weeks. How she'd been lonely when I was working late. How one night after too much wine, they crossed a line. She swore it was over, that she'd cut him off, but it didn't matter. The trust was gone. I stood up, left my untouched coffee, and walked out. Her sobs echoed behind me, but I didn't look back. The fallout came fast. I moved out, crashing with a co-worker until I could find my own place. Lila tried calling, but I blocked her. Ethan, though, was untouchable, or so he thought. His perfect life started cracking. His new job, turns out, he'd lied about his qualifications, exaggerating his internship to land it. A co-worker he'd bragged posted about it online, and the startup fired him within a month. Mom tried to spin it as a misunderstanding, but the truth was out. Ethan's golden halo was tarnishing. Then came the real kicker. Lila, desperate to make amends, reached out to me with a bombshell. She'd found out Ethan had been seeing someone else, a co-worker from his internship, while flirting with her. He'd played them both, stringing Lila along while keeping his other relationship secret. Lila sent me screenshots of their texts, Ethan's words dripping with manipulation. "You're special, Lila, but let's keep this quiet," he'd written. She was devastated, realizing she'd been a pawn in his game. I didn't feel sorry for her. Not really. She'd made her choices, but seeing Ethan's lies exposed, that felt like justice. I started rebuilding. New apartment, new routines, new focus. Friends rallied around me, reminding me who I was before all this. I threw myself into work, landing a big client that boosted my portfolio. Slowly, the weight of betrayal lifted. I even started dating again. Nothing serious, just dipping my toes back in. Lila faded into the background, her apologies unanswered. Ethan, though, couldn't escape the consequences. His reputation took a hit, and Mom's endless defense of him started sounding hollow, even to her. One night, I ran into Ethan at a bar. He was alone, looking rough bags under his eyes, that golden glow gone. He tried to play it cool, offering to buy me a drink, but I wasn't having it. "You got what you deserved," I said, my voice steady. "You can't charm your way out of this one." He didn't argue, just stared into his beer. For the first time, I saw him for what he was: not a golden child, but a flawed, selfish guy who'd hurt people to get what he wanted. I walked away, lighter than I'd felt in months. Looking back, I learned a hard lesson about trust and family. Ethan's betrayal cut deep, but it showed me who I could rely on: myself, my friends, my own resilience. Lila's choices broke my heart, but they also freed me to move on. And Ethan, he's still chasing that perfect image, but the cracks are showing, and no amount of charm can hide them forever. What do you think? Did Jake overreact? Or was he right to cut them out? Share your thoughts below. And